Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights. I am your host, Dearjames, and my incredibly fabulous co-host, the Lady Jacqueline, is off this week. So, wow is what I have to say. Wow. This, last week to this week, the energies, the opportunities, what's taking place is, and I just saw 5-5, literally 55 seconds. 5-5 in the I Ching, HEXAGRAM 55 is great abundance. This is the message. This is the way. This is where we're headed. And so can't thank you enough for joining us, for following with us, being on this journey with us, the Lady Jacqueline and myself. And I want to just jump right in. So, and as everyone's joining, please put into the comments, give us a shout out that you're joining and where from and so forth. And again, a reminder that throughout the broadcast, I will be taking your questions and comments live. So we'll incorporate them throughout the broadcast and the show. And just wanting you, and that's the only way that we know you're there. So this is interactive. It is with all of you. And it makes it so amazing. Hello, Ian. How are you? It's wonderful to see you joining from France. So this was a message too. This because it is, we're all around the globe. We're throughout the world, and there's a big message, and we're going to come to it about what our destiny is. And you'll see how this message about being all of us joining from around the globe and everything. And we'll jump right into it. It is the message that came in yesterday. I sit down when I do the shows and I listen. And typically I do it the morning of the show. And the overall message for the energies for this week and going forward came in. And literally I'm looking, there's 6, the number 6 is showing, literally mirroring back to me at this moment. And that is about 6, destiny. And the message, hello, Haley, wonderful to have you joining us. The message was a unifying force. And as you all know, we had this, hello, Evelyn, good morning, thank you for joining us. We have this opportunity. We had last week, we had the arrival, the return, the celebration. And this week, we have a unifying force. And so this is this coming together, this unifying, this uniting. And as I was looking at the numbers, so auspicious. So throughout the month of August, it's the number 8. The 8 having to do with infinity, eternity, infinity. We have the 3, the Trinity. So we have infinity, we have Trinity. We have 2022, the 2022, and 8 and 3 is an 11. So we have double master numbers. We have 11, which is the most intuitive, and we have 22, the most powerful. you'll see how our intuition, our intuiting, our receiving, being in receivership is going to play. And then our power, our empowerment, how that is playing. So we've got 11 and 22. And of course, the 2022, 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. We're in a 6th year. It's been all about conflict and destiny. However, we are moving, we are leaving conflict behind. And that's again, the message. The more we open, the more we allow, we're moving, and it's all about destiny. It's about where we are going. And then when you add the 8, the 3, and the 6, it becomes a 17, which is hexagram 17. It's about follow, be led, listening to our soul source connection. And the 17, 1 and 7, becomes an 8. So we've got double 8s. So we've got this incredible power. So I'm going to jump to the end. It's like reading a book. They're laughing. I never do this. I always read the book from the beginning to the end. Spoiler alert, and there are those that go to the last chapter, or they read the end of the book to see what happens, and then they go back to the beginning. I don't know if you all do that. Put in the comments. Do you read it from front to back, or back, do you go to the end and then see? In this moment, I'm just laughing because I had an aha moment, an epiphany moment about when I saw that literally, hello Sue, welcome, joining us, thank you. I saw the number 6. It's item number 6 on the list that they gave me today. And they then wrote, and they said, oh, it's hexagram number 8. And hexagram 8 is about uniting, unite. They gave us the overall theme of a unifying force. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, 6, destiny. Our destiny is to unite. Our destiny is to return, to come back together, to be one, to be whole again. And then I saw the Tower of Babel and how we were scattered. So we were literally scattered. The tongues were scattered. The peoples were scattered. Why? So as to learn, so as to go out and experience, go out and feel. Feel. They're saying, like, in essence, feel the loss. Feel the way back. It wasn't about thinking our way back. It wasn't about the ego mind. It was about go learn, go feel what it's like to be separated from source. Of course, we never are. However, that's the illusion, right? That is the great fall, the great experience is the illusion of separation. And so here it is, and they're saying to us, okay, so 6, destiny. They're like, we're out of conflict. We're done with conflict. Now, I know, world events, and I get it. I hear you. However, as the Lady Jacqueline and I have always said, and the unseen continues to say, when we stay in the eye of the hurricane, we see clearly. We're still, we're calm, we can receive, we can hear, we can connect. So, our destiny is hexagram 8, uniting, to return, to unite together. The Tower of Babel is about being scattered. It was to go out and learn. Go out and experience this. And then they said, now we rejoin, we unify, we unite, we come together. Why? To serve, to be in service, because when we are at our best, when we are at our highest ideal, we are in service with, to, and for one another. There's harmony, there's joy, there's happiness, there's enthusiasm. You're going to see how that shows up again. It's very interesting from last week. So this is the goal. This is, it's not even the goal. This is the deliverance. This is the promise. This is what they've been talking about. And so We leave the shadow element, the shadow side of 6. It can be conflict, chaos, conflict, and the shadow sides of those things, to receive, to return, to come back together, to rejoin, so as to serve a soul self, higher self, soul destiny, soul purpose. All of these. Good morning, Kim. Welcome. So you can see, this is so exciting. I mean, I was literally sitting this morning, and when that popped in and came forward, I was like, oh, there's so much here. And you can see I'm talking fast, and because I'm so revved up in the new, like in the opportunity of what this means, in the paradigm shift of what they're talking about. And so, and the way too, they're bringing this in, and the Lady Jacqueline, it's okay, Dearjames, bring it down, bring it in for a landing, bring it into a practical state. The way to receive this, we've talked about allowing. We've talked about truly being open to the possibilities and open to the magic. You're going to see how the magician is playing. Be open to the magic. If we are caught up in the external, or we're caught up in the chatter in our minds, if we're caught up in that lane, that is where we are. That is the experience we will have. However, when we suspend that, when we just change lanes, and the Lady Jacqueline and I have said, oh, we're on the ticket. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. We all have the golden ticket. It's about realizing, do you have the golden ticket? Yes? Okay, I've got it. Then it's like, are you on the train? Are you moving forward? Because otherwise, you have a golden ticket, but you may not even realize you have it. You may realize it and ignore it. You may realize it and fight against it, push back against it, be in confrontation with it. Okay, that is the experience, unless or until you switch. And so this is about switching lanes, switching trains, getting on the right one at the right time, allowing, opening yourselves to allow, so that you see, good morning, Ann, hello, so that we see, literally, to see, because this is what's on offer. It's not a joke. It's not a fallacy. It's not make-believe. It's not, Dearjames blowing smoke. I listen. I have James, the human, like all of you. This is not my opinion. This is not my belief. I listen. This is the divine speaking, the unseen, giving us the way, giving us the information. So let's go. So and even though we started at the end, and Haley was very funny, never go to the end first. Always want to experience the whole story. Yes, exactly. And I'm the same way. I read the book from the beginning to the end because as much as we all want the destination, it really truly is about the journey. It's going through the book. It's going through the journey. It's experiencing it. And here they've said, yes, we scattered you. We mixed up your tongues. We scattered you to the ends of the earth so as to learn, so as to feel your way back. Not think it, feel it. Because when it's a feeling, when we know it, and that's different too than emotion. The feeling is a knowing. It's very pure. It just is. Then we have emotion, thoughts, action, stuff like that, inaction, these types of things. They come after. So this is where we find ourselves. We find ourselves in the moment of As they said last week, arrival, return, celebration, the golden age of discovery. I just read an article where the golden new earth, the golden is associated with the upcoming 8-8, the Lion's Gate, the 8-8, and this new adventure awaits. So, and put in the comments, let me know, are you feeling this energy? When what I'm talking about, is it resonating? Are you hopeful? Are you excited? Or are you pessimistic? Are you struggling? And if so, in each one, if you'd like to share, put a comment in that says, it's this and this is why, or this is what I'm experiencing, and we'll take them throughout the broadcast. So after the initial, a unifying force, this overall theme, it came directly in concert with what was once hidden, and then they took in little brackets and they wrote the word within. So it's what was once hidden, so in a big grand way, I mean a limitless statement. And then they put in brackets, meaning like for us, for the humans, for us journeying this, for the souls journeying this in this incarnation within. So what was hidden within gets revealed, exclamation point. So what was once hidden, in brackets within, but it's the whole, and they're making the macro and the micro. So what was once hidden within gets revealed. And we spoke about this in last week's show. It's about the fact that the more we're allowing, the more we're surrendering, the more we're in alignment with our soul source self, the more this, what was hidden, this magic, this, they're giving me the phrase, this God code. And you can look up, they've even confirmed that there is a quote unquote, a God code. This God code, helix, DNA, awakens, or unravels meaning blossoms, opens, activates. And thereby, again, the more we're in alignment with it, we're on the train, we've left the station, we're going, the more, the faster, the deeper, the higher it starts presenting itself, permeating. And so this is the way. And the second thing, so here in Colorado, that's where I currently am, in Colorado. The Rocky Mountains are the border of the West. And just outside on the view is what's known as Pikes Peak and Garden of the Gods. And so they showed me Garden of the Gods, but Pikes Peak. And I'm just going to bring this up and show you all. Here's a beautiful image at the equinox. So the sun is rising, the full moon's setting, it's at the equinox. And as you notice, the top of the mountain is illuminated. I mean, it's lit up. It's a phenomenon of Pikes Peak that the peak illuminates first, and then as the sun continues to rise, the light filters down to the base, to the plateau, and so forth. Well, the Ute Indians, the Ute tribe, in their language, they named Pikes Peak Tava, which meant the sun mountain. And then they showed me a pyramid, an upright pyramid. It is the symbol of the masculine. So the upright pyramid is the masculine, the divine masculine, and the inverted triangle is the feminine, literally the chalice. We talk about that, it's about looking the chalice when you're on the grail, the chalice, and it represents the divine feminine. So here, and they said it's first to receive sunlight. And so why is this important? Because what they're saying is, remember they've said, don't be late to the party, be on time. The light, the first dawn, the first amount of all of this hits the peak. It's going to permeate. It's going to infiltrate in the most positive way. Infiltrate meaning to permeate, to flow through those, quote unquote, at the top, ready to go. Let's go. They're allowing, they're surrendering, they're in alignment. And then it will, quote unquote, filter down. It will, and notice that it spreads out. The form of a pyramid, of course, the base is, so the wider it gets, the pyramids of Egypt and so forth. 8-8, the Lion's Gate is associated with the sphinxes of the Giza Plateau, the Great Pyramids. So the point being is that the more you're, it's kind of like the more you're at the top, the plateau, the peak, first in line, this type of thing, and the more it will filter, the more you're ready and at the forefront. And then it also comes down so that, and then it spreads out, right? It's the ripple effect. It spreads out. Now, and then realize too, what they're also saying, so this is true of quote unquote the masses, how it spreads out, the ripple to others. That same effect is true within yourself. So you're at the peak, you're at the top of the light, you're receiving it first, and as it continues, as it ripples and continues down, it gets wider and deeper and higher and stronger, more empowering within yourselves. So it's both an inside job, it always is. However, so they're showing us how, so you want to be first, you want to be on time to the party, open to receiving, so as to receive far more, far faster, far quicker. And then that ripple effect within you, it's the same then as it's going out. So I hope that's, I hope that's making sense. So these current energies, I'm just going to switch now to the current energies. So all of this a unifying force, the 8, the 3, the 22, the 11, the 6, the 17, all of these numbers, very auspicious, powerful, empowering, divine numbers. So this is, this is the magic that's on tap. Let me jump into some of your comments really quickly before we continue. So Kim is saying, very hopeful despite challenges. My meditations are much more powerful. Still waiting for specific guidance. Yes, and just in the still waiting, so in the stillness, specific guidance arrives. So it's about that thing of be expectant, but hands off the wheel. There's a beauty in the expectation, but not control, not how it must come, not when it must come. Simply state, even outside of meditation, perhaps in your prayers, perhaps in just a moment, or when you're going to bed, ask to receive. Because again, Matthew 7:7, it's about those who, when you knock, the door will be opened. It's that ask and it will be answered. So this is about inviting it in. This is about asking to be shown, and then being open to follow, to listen, to go as guided. Sue, yes, I have been on a self-soul discovery out of the shadows of being scattered. Beautiful. Because again, this unifying, and you'll see how Hexagram 8 literally talks about unifying the self, unifying from the inside out, becoming one, becoming whole internally with all of our aspects. And again, this purifying because we are leaving chaos and conflict and all of and distress and all this. We're leaving it behind. I know it may not look that way. I'm aware. However, that's passing away. That's the old order of things. And that old order is passing. A new order has arrived. A new order is present and will align with us. It already is. So it's, again, how much are we coming into it? And yes, feeling it. I surprisingly set boundaries with a long-standing friendship, and the friendship came to an end. It felt right, but I had no idea that that would happen. I feel free for a new direction now. Yes, yes, yes. This is a big thing, and it's not easy, and it can be painful. And yet when you sit in the stillness of, because remember, 23, splitting apart, that is the hidden influence of hexagram 8 of uniting, is the splitting apart so as to regenerate. The underlying cause, hexagram 14, great possessing, shine. It's to shine your light. And so yes, as we make these monumental shifts, we will release, we will split apart from people, places, things. And yes, it's hard, and it can be heavy, and it can be sad. However, when you just sit with it, as Anne just shared, it can be unexpected, and yet you feel, even in the sadness and the unexpectedness of it and so forth, you know it's right. You can see the truth in it. And thereby, you allow, you surrender, you allow, you don't fight. You simply allow. I am. That's it. Because you're experiencing your soul journey at your pace, at your speed, in your way, and they are as well. And so to each their soul's journey. That's what's so empowering and powerful about this. Haley, I've been in a really strange space the past few months. I'm feeling almost suspended. Everything feels frozen. My connection feels the same. In the weirdest way, it actually feels right not to push anything to move though. Yes, because again, the stuck, and you'll see there, it's in here, the word, it's a quote that's coming up. Let me just see if this is it. We're going to bop. Well, no, this is another quote though, because this is the point. When you return from the darkness with gold, others will naturally follow. There's another quote that's in one of the hexagrams that I'm going to share with you that speaks about the fact that, in essence, the stuck part is stillness. And so, Haley, you're experiencing this stillness so as, and they're saying so as, literally for you specifically, so as to feel, to release, to let go of thoughts, feelings, behaviors, old ones, old patterns, old things. And thereby you know not to push through, because what are we doing? We're learning so as to serve, to teach, to be, when we return from the darkness with gold, others will naturally follow. This association with gold, with the sun, with sunlight, with the peak of the mountain, the gold within. We're receiving the gold, the golden ticket, the golden new world. From last week's show, the golden age of discovery, renewal, newness. It's as if we've been, so they're saying it's like we've all been climbing the mountain. And remember, the Tower of Babel, they constructed the Tower of Babel as a means, as a way to return, to get back to where they came from, to the heavens, to God, to source. And God says, look, these humans, they're, these divine beings. And remember, when you look at the construction of the Tower of Babel, and they're giving you the one, and if you know, please place it in the comments. I'm losing the, it's not coming to me, but there's a difference in the way, like the Aztec structures, there's a different word for them in the way they're constructed. But in essence, the base is wide and it layers up like a pyramid and so forth, like a tower. And so here was God, source, saying, let us scatter them to the winds. Let us confuse their tongue, because what they're trying to do is immediately return. And we need this time to experience our loss, our separation. It's illusion, the illusion of these things. And so if you're, or when you're struggling with that, if you're struggling with a loss, when you struggle with a loss or anger or confusion, resentment, anything that's, remember, it's an illusion. You are whole and complete just as you are, right where you are. You are never lost. You're always somewhere. And once you take stock, once you ask, where am I? Or what is this? What is the illusion? You'll receive it. When you're open still to receive, it'll be like in a knowing, like a shuffling of cards, or that very fast, and it'll just come in, you'll get it, and it'll go, okay, and release, and it moves you forward. So this is really beautiful, Haley. You're doing some heavy lifting, some deep work right here, right now, and that's why. Again, because when you move, as you move in to the new, you're like a rocket, like lightning speed. You're like a rocket. You're going to quantum leap, if you will, to use that phrase, forward. You're going to be so in the new. You're going to be so one with it that you don't even see the old. It's like it doesn't exist. So this is about the shedding, the making peace with, the release, the releasing. And you can see again how Anne's example is a release. This is what you're dealing with. Ian. You know, I have to say that I understand about being aligned and staying open to messages and source, but can we talk about how difficult it is to maintain that on a constant basis? How to succeed at that, please? ? Yes, because we're, boots on the ground. We're, we can be in the trenches, and that's the thing. It's almost like when our head is down, because quote unquote life is coming at us. How do we maintain this? How do we maintain our sobriety, is what they're saying. How do we maintain our uprightness? So remember, what we're dealing with is for us, divine to divine and neutral, playing a role. One of the things that we're releasing, conflict, right? 6, conflict. We're releasing the conflict. We're releasing the illusion. We're releasing the interpretation, the perception of what it is they're doing. So surface level, you're an irritant. You're a pain in my keister. You are, you're dragging me down. You're bringing me down. All that's on the surface. Under it, and thus I get triggered. Okay. Once you then stand back and say, okay, what is this? Because it's me. It's not them. Yes, they're playing their role. However, the triggering aspect, the buying into, the confronting, the acceptance of the illusion, the playing the script and the story I've told myself, all of those are mine. All of those are on me. And so we're letting go of conflict. We're destiny. We're uniting. And we unite from the inside out. So when I stay true to myself, when I don't allow myself to get triggered because I don't buy into the script, I don't buy into the surface. That just is. So is what's really going on in your divine soul self. So connect. Keep connecting. Keep releasing the illusion. Keep releasing the triggers. Keep releasing the need to engage or to correct or, because, and just simply go, they're giving you like, namaste. I bow to the divine in you. There is a divine offering, a divine gift. It may come in the cloak of opposites. Many times it does. However, again, we're moving forward. We're moving out of that. We're moving out, through, out. So it's like they're saying, okay, so they're giving me the analogy, Ian, of a dolphin, a whale or something swimming freely in the ocean. Just absolute spirit, raging meaning just flowing through this force, one with the ocean, just whoosh. And then that juxtaposed against, we're ensnared in the fisherman's net. We're all bound up and tied up. And we're unable to release ourselves, or we may need assistance to release ourselves. The moral of this analogy, of this story, is they're saying, don't get caught up in the net. Stay in the eye of the hurricane. In the eye, it's peaceful. In the fluidity, in the openness of our being, we're one with. Because someone else is triggered about something, that's theirs. Leave that with them. You need not engage it. One can say easier said than done. We don't live in a vacuum. We're not, on an island by ourselves. Understood. And yet, because they're saying, let's suppose you're an island unto yourself and you're alone on an island. Then that the role they're playing for you is, now they're not there, right? We're alone on the island. So who takes its place? Our mind. Who takes their place? Our thoughts, the stories. Because that which is on offer, the gold within, the experience, the receiving, is still true. It's the idiom, everywhere we go, there we are. There you are. So stay out of the fisherman's net. Do not become ensnared. Do not engage in other people's illusion. That's theirs. You have a choice. Haley is saying, yes, exactly. I feel like I need to stop looking for answers at the moment. Yes, exactly. Allow them to come. Allow. Be open. Arms wide open. Keep allowing. And this came up because there's a post on the Dearjames Facebook page where it says, the more you allow, the more things come into alignment. And some have pushed back on that. And the reply has been, this is the higher octave of allowing. This is with self. This is not about allowing bad behavior, allowing other people to harm you. It is not that form. It is not an external allowing. It is an internal allowing. Allowing yourself to grow, to shed, to be still, to receive. Internal, with self, soul, source, connection. Nothing to do externally with allowing others to mistreat or malign or harm, or it has nothing to do with that. And that's not the message. Kim, I can't believe you referenced Matthew. I so relate to that. Thank you for the reminder to ask and be open to receive, hands off the wheel. Yes, this is a big Matthew 7:7. 7:7 has been coming through, and the 7 of cups. I mean, these sevens. So Matthew 7:7 and the 7 of cups. These two have been coming through nonstop. And so again, ask and you shall receive. Knock and the door will be opened. There's more to that. I'll post this in the comments for the show script. With then here's this, this golden age of discovery, this new adventure, this what's coming in, and what's been hidden is going to be revealed. And within. And the 7 of cups is all about choices, and it has to do with dreams and desires and so forth. And so in some of the cups, in some of the 7 cups, there are less than, shadow elements is the better, easier way to put it. So of course, discernment, listening, being in alignment, staying true to your soul source connection. Cannot state that more. Stay true to your soul source connection. Stay true to your knowing. It's not your mind. It's not your ego. It's not your judgments. And that's all being released, shedded, so as to magnify, amplify your destiny, your soul source purpose. And it just makes me so excited. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Okay, so continuing on. Oh my goodness, I'm so revved up, I can't even tell you. Ian, okay, also, can we talk about the necessary courage to transcend? Yes. Courage, it's such a beautiful thing, Ian. Courage. Courage denotes strength. Strength denotes faith. Faith denotes a willingness, an openness. It is believing even when you cannot, quote unquote, see. So many people will say, oh, I only believe it's true if I can see it, touch it, feel it. I need to know that it exists. Okay, you may be waiting for a very long time. Versus faith, a belief, a knowing that I'm receiving these messages. I can feel my soul speaking to me. I know which direction to go. And even though I've yet to be there, or yet to go there, or yet to receive it, I know it's already, it's done. It's a fait accompli. It's done. It's mine. It's not about competition. That's the old operating system. It's not about competing for something. Why compete for something that's already yours? And should you have the experience where you say, well, that was mine and I didn't get it. Okay. Revisit your knowing. Revisit what you knew. Because it'll be about, again, uniting, collaboration, coming together. What is yours on a soul level? What is yours? It's already done. It's already there. And there's a myriad, 7 of Cups, there's a myriad of choices that our soul, it's like an octopus or a tentacle of, like the tree of life. All of these roots, all of these limbs and trunks and so forth. And again, peak of the mountain, the sun. So the more we're at the top of the mountain, the more that we're at the peak, we're in this alignment, the more we're going to receive, the more we're going to experience. We're going to move with things and through things faster, and not faster as to not enjoy them, so as to receive them. And this has been true all along. That is a truism. It's been there all along. There's just an amplified energy opportunity, expansion, present now. It's the way. So it's like the obstacles, there's no more obstacles. The obstacles erode, move. They're not there anymore. So again, unless we're creating them. But again, that's going to go away. So, okay. Elizabeth, hello, and happy that from France. Welcome. Glad you're here joining us. Brigitte, hello. Yes, welcome. It's Wednesdays. Elizabeth is saying, I think illusions are not the same as dreams. The fantasy is over for if someone will change, then my life will be better. Or if I move, then my life will be better. I have accepted that slow source connection is my way. Yes, so again, so dreams help us. The illusion of things. And yes, this is everywhere you go, there you are. There's the analogy of the island. And, you know, when we're not on the island and we're in front of everyone, other souls play their divine role. They play their part that we ask them to. We pick up and we go to an island by ourselves. The mind plays the role for us. Because what the soul wants to experience, wants to transcend, is going to play out. It's there until we transcend it. We experience it, we release it, we transcend it. And all of that, all of this, these are an allusion to your divine self, whole and complete, just as you are. It reminds me, for everyone with children, expectant parents and so forth, caregivers, babies, they come in whole and complete. See them through those eyes, through that lens. What is it? They are the next iteration, the next generation of something. So receive what they have to offer. Be open and willing to amend, transcend, journey forward, because again, soul to soul, it's what we've set up. It's what we said we would do. And because we get locked in this thing of, no, I'm the adult. I know better. Okay. And yes, there is a custodialship, a caregiving, and a nourishing to help raise, to bring them, but not to harm or extinguish their light. Be open to receive what they've come to teach, what they've come to share of the divine, because it's on offer. And we're either open to receiving it, or we're trying to extinguish it and prevent it. Just wanted to throw that in because it was popping in. And yes, yes, you were perfectly clear, Elizabeth, in your communicating there, because again, what they're saying is that it's going to speed up. Things are going to speed up, and speed up in the way of, again, the more we're in alignment, the faster these things are coming, the synchronicities, the joys, the opportunities, discernment. Utilize discernment, knowing, your knowing. Listen to your soul and proceed, action in action, proceed accordingly. And it will then also, in concert with that, any of this leftover stuff, the conflict of the old order of things, it's going to become harder and harder and harder and harder and harder for that to exist. We can see this on the world stage. A mega power invades a smaller country and thinks, lickety split, we're going to conquer this and be done. How many months later? Because there's a unifying force. There's a unifying within this one country, rippling out to the whole of the whole and saying, no more, not this way, not happening, don't want it. And that is in alignment with uniting, becoming one and whole with one another. It's playing out on our world stage. Sue was mentioning it is a revisiting from childhood. So yes, exactly. I mean, when we look back, because children are full of awe and wonder. It says you will inherit the kingdom of heaven. In order to do so, be childlike. And there's a deeper, greater meaning of in the description of that, the narrative of that of be your soul self. In your soul self, everything's possible. Anything's possible. It is the Seven of Cups. Use discernment in what you align with, what you bring in, what you co-create. And again, the more in alignment, the faster that will go, the more it's like exercise. It's like running through a program and you're like, boom, 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 boom. You align with it. So the more you're in alignment with it and you're exercising it and practicing it and everything, the quicker, the faster, the more harmonious you are with it. It just unfolds. It's like me speaking quickly. We don't think about speaking. We do when we're learning a second language or an alternate language, a fifth language. We slow down. But what is innate and customary to us, we don't even think. We can talk as fast as we want in a native tongue, so to speak. That's the example they're giving of the alignment of this and the releasing of the illusion of any obstacle, blockage, conflict. It's gone. Our destiny is uniting. It's to unite. It is to shine. Powerful. It is to serve. And that is, when we think about that, and they're just bringing in, so the custodialship of things. We are the custodian of our life experience. We are the custodian of those in our sphere, meaning they're in our care. It goes back to we are our brother's, sister's keeper, meaning to be in service, to be in care of one another. And we are the custodians of the planet, the earth, these things that we reside in. So how are we consciously, and when you're the custodian of something, 9 times out of 10, people care for things in a higher manner, higher, broader, deeper manner, because we are the custodian of it. It is in our care. And so remember, this is true of ourselves. You are the custodian of your embodiment, your divine vessel, your body, your mind, your thoughts, your feelings. You're the custodian. How might you maintain? That was Ian's question. How do you stay at the top? How do you maintain that? Remember that you're the custodian of your experience, your vessel, your body, your mind, your thoughts, your planet, Mother Earth. We are the custodians. We are the guests. We are the custodians of this experience. And we are realigning, coming back together, unifying with our host. We were never apart. However, the fall, the veil, the illusion, all of that, and what is occurring is the unifying force. A unifying force is bringing us back together. Just as they split us apart, they scattered us. So now they're bringing us back together. So in hexagram, and with the magician, so the third thing that came in was the magician, and it was the magician. not a magician, not some magician, the magician. And all of a sudden I had this awareness. I was looking at this, and I went and looked, and it was the magician, also known as the magus or the juggler, is the first major arcana card in the tarot. So that's one thing. It's the first major arcana in the tarot. It depicts a man who is standing in front of his powerful altar with tools that represent all four directions and all four suits in the tarot. When the magician appears, it points to talents, capabilities, and resources at the querent's disposal in order to succeed. The message is to tap into one's full potential rather than holding back, especially when there is a need to transform something. So, and then I had this awareness of, so the magician, the first card, the sun, S-U-N, S-O-N. The image that they gave me for 8-1, for this golden age of discovery and this arrival, the return, the celebration, was the color. It was the sun. And you can see again on the Dearjames Facebook page. Look at the image, and you'll see that it's as if it's the source behind the central sun. So here's this sun, and it was like, Master Jesus, sun, the sun. And this can be Osiris, this can be in many, many different cultures and our lineage. This central character, this divine masculine character, who has all the tools. We have all the tools. They're there, they are omnipresent. And then I looked at this and I said, it's the air element. Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, air. The fluidity of things moving faster. Its ruling planet. So the magician's ruling planet, Mercury, the messenger, to spread, to populate, to make available. It's divine wisdom and knowledge. It's to make this available. The next card is the High Priestess. So the magician. It was like, boom! And then with it, and I don't mean this in a hierarchy way. It was in a subset way is the way they're giving it to me. So we've got the magician, and then the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is the divine feminine. She is, in essence, the counterpart, the divine counterpart. She's card number 2. So hexagram 1 is the raw force. Hexagram 2 is the creative force, the receptive. So you can see the corresponding, the analogies here. And then the third card is the Empress. And the Empress is the mother. She is, and we remember they were talking about nourishment, nourishing, 27, nourishment, a nourishing vision. What wolf are we feeding? What do we choose to feed? The Empress, she is the embodiment of fertility, abundance. In tarot, sometimes they're like pregnancy, these types of things. So you can see, and again, what did we have? 3, Trinity. So we have these symbols, these major arcana, they're giving me like these emblems of opportunity, of what's within us and how. The magician has all the tools. They have everything they need. So it's making it really clear we have everything we need. There is nothing we do not have. And in fact, again, remember, what was hidden within gets revealed. So remember last week, more. How do you like it? How do you like it? Well, there's more. It's already there. It already exists. It's getting revealed. It's going to get revealed. And it's going to magnify. And thereby, and we are the custodians of that divinity, that magic, that opportunity. With great power comes great responsibility. Utilize it correctly, wisely, with discernment. Do no harm. Just that simple. Wanting to go to to hexagram 17. Sorry, I was just looking at this. This is a quote from Plato. And it says, "We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when man, womankind are afraid of the light." There's no need to be afraid of the light. The light is the arc of destiny. It is the arc of time. It is the movement forward. And again, it is not about eradicating darkness. It is about purifying it. The void is pure. The light is pure. The uniting, the return, is about uniting with the purity of those elements, those forces. It is not about eradicating one over the other. It is about purifying. And where do we begin? Inside, with ourselves, with one another. And again, the more we're at the top, boom, 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 it all flows very quickly. And I'm just looking here because there was, sorry, it's on hexagram number 8. And hexagram 8, and I'm going to post these so you can read them and see. This is a beautiful, it's from cafeausoul.com. And this is about hexagram 8. And so remember, it is about uniting. We split apart, 23, we split apart and regenerate so as to, and the underlying cause, the outcome, the effect is great possessing, to shine. And it says, when you merge the world in here with the world out there, your destiny is revealed. And remember, and it's 10:01, my time, 1001. The 11, today is an 11. We have these ones which act as a gateway, a way to, a way through. What's sitting in the center? 0, 0. Source. God, Spirit, Source, the divine. This is the way to, this is the way through. Here we go, here it is. And it speaks about the fact holding together or uniting is something that plays out in the way we pursue and are pursued by others, but also how we find a sense of union within. Where the previous hexagram, hexagram 7, she, army, had to do with organizing the will around the collective. Hexagram 8, pi, places the focus more on uniting the diverse aspects of the individual, or unifying all aspects of the individual with others. Literally, they're giving me yesterday a unifying force. I look today, I look at the numbers, I've not looked up what the number 8 means in terms of the hexagrams, and here it's talking about uniting, union, unifying. And it says, when receiving this hexagram, one is asked to seek the oracle again to explore whether one is truly ready to transcend egoistic aims. So that's important. See again, where are we? Are we on time? Don't be late to the party. Are we willing to transcend our egoistic aims, our labels, our defenses, our egos, the masks, the labels? Are we willing to transcend them? And the quicker, the faster we are, the more we receive our destiny, our soul, our true soul source, self-purpose experience. Because we come into service. We come into alignment with serving the divine. And we're in reciprocity of that. So in serving, in giving, we receive. In receiving, we give. Now, however, now it's with the divine. It's always been with the divine, but we got lost along the way here. So now it's this return. Oop, we're back over here. So, and it talks about the fact, literally, holding together means uniting. That's mic drop, hexagram 8. Literally, holding together means uniting. So coming together, holding together. Sacred vessel, being one with. And then it says, and then this last piece, when you are trapped in a transformative process, inspiration rises. And I want to talk about when you are trapped in a transformative process. Should you be trapped, it is self-made, self-inflicted. It is you telling yourself, it is a story you're telling yourself, I'm trapped. You need not be trapped. So, should you be trapped in a transformative process, inspiration rises. Whether through dreams, we mentioned dreams, Elizabeth mentioning dreams, intuition, or events to reveal the way through. So let me just read that again. When you are trapped in a transformative process, inspiration rises, whether through dreams, intuition, or events to reveal the way through. Synchronicity is a word that describes this uniting process, where the inner and outer are drawn together in a way that reveals there is no separation between the two. The path of Tao leads you to tap your unique individuality, Te, while removing any sense of separateness from what transpires around you. So literally, this is talking about the fact that we are removing any separateness. We are removing, source, the divine is removing. We are a unifying force. We are being brought back together. We are being brought back to oneness, wholeness. And the path, being on the path, Tao, leads you, the way, leads you to tap your unique individuality while removing any sense of separateness from what transpires around you. So they're literally showing me this, like, it's going to be like this. So they're giving me the analogy of like a snow globe, a crystal ball, if you will, this iridescent, rainbow iridescent sphere. And we're going to move. So each of us is moving in that manner. And thereby, so can you imagine the spectrum of this iridescent spectrum of all these orbs, iridescent rainbow light orbs, spheres, moving, so within themselves. So they're one with themselves, and they are one with the greater whole of things. And they are iridescent. They are rainbow colored, which means every color under the rainbow, it's the full spectrum. It's Technicolor. It's the full spectrum. You have everything you need. And this will be in an amplified experience. So these are I'm mindful of the time, we're running late. It was a lot to get in today. And it was so exciting. I was really revved up. I hope the energy is coming through, that it is palpable. You are feeling it. It is speaking to you. The clarity of the wisdom, the clarity of what's on offer, and the excitement, the enthusiasm, because that was in here as well. Because 18, by the way, too, in 17, hexagram 17, following, be led, the underlining cause is 18, decay, remedy, and it means development, to flower, and decay, remedy, repair what's spoiled. That was the big item from last week. That was item E from last week, which was saying the whole reason for this is to repair what's spoiled, to develop so as to flower, to blossom, to bloom, the lotus to bloom. And so you can see how this is all here. I would love for you all to share your comments in the thread, how today's information and everything is permeating you, how you received it, what is your takeaway? Because again, that is a ripple effect. What you all are feeling is a ripple effect, and then when you share, it's a ripple effect, and it can inspire, it can nurture, it can care for another custodian, and so I would love if you would all be so kind as to place those into the comments, because we're really building here, and this is just I'm so excited for all of us. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the whole of the whole. I'm excited for myself, for everyone. So from the Lady Jacqueline and I, thank you all so much for being on this journey with us. Thank you for being such a beautiful soul family. If you are not yet a part of the private group, please go. There's a link in the narrative of the post. You can join the private Facebook group. Tomorrow at this same time, I was guided to hold for us to all come together so we can see each other, interact with one another, and just see where the divine guides us. They were very strong about that. So that will be tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, 5 p.m. Central European. And you'll need to be a member of the private group in order to have the Zoom information. It'll be via Zoom and everything, and we will do everything. We'll just see where it takes us. So namaste to all of you. Thank you so much, beautiful souls, and I will see you tomorrow and see you next week. Thank you for joining.